Hello, and welcome to Dad and Dan's Nova Scotia trip. After a nightmarish morning dealing with Delta, we were stuck in Boston for the day, so we decided to go downtown and take in some sights via a trolley tour. And then, after an equally nightmarish evening in the airport in Boston, we finally arrived here in Nova Scotia. We drove through Windsor, the birthplace of hockey, as we found out. And that was on our way to our first real destination in Wolfville to rent some bikes. And we wanted to bike a little bit, see some coastline. The most interesting sight we saw that day was the house. Insert joke here. We ate at a great pub, met some nice people. Our hotel that night was basically a studio apartment. It was a kitchen complete with dishes and silverware and fridge and stove. Amazing. The next day we headed south, back down to the other coast to Lunenburg to do a little more biking, and we stopped and rented our bikes at the bike barn. Now here's a picture I took along the way of a house that looked really familiar to me. Now check this out. Now this was an online wallpaper I got offline before I went to Nova Scotia, and I immediately recognized the house. Look at the similarities. Just tell me that is not the same house. That is amazing. That is Lunenburg behind us. You'll see another shot of it in a second from our hotel room up on the hill. This is an absolutely gorgeous church that had burned down in 2001, I believe. This is a memorial to a plane crash. Here we are at a quaint little fishing town that has since become very touristy, and that lighthouse you see is now a post office. Now all of that was on our way to here, Maitland, which used to be a prominent shipbuilding town. This is the B&B that we stayed at in Maitland, which was actually Captain's house. And here's Dad playing chess. We were playing chess up in the Widow's Walk. I made a friend. Here's the rafting place. It was too amazing, and it would be too much adjectives to explain here. But we had an incredible time, and basically we rode the tide down and then crashed through the waves on the way back. We drove on and ended up here in Pleasant Bay. Our big agenda here was to see some whales and hopefully some seals. While we were waiting around for the boat to come, I made some friends skipping stones with the kids. And then the boat finally got there. Now it was about here where I realized that the still camera wasn't going to do well for the getting the whales that went by really quickly. So I finally realized that I had a little video on my digital camera. And I'm sorry if it's fuzzy, but I had to make it a little bit bigger to fit in with the photos. Oh, did I mention that this was all in Cape Breton? Here's our hotel that we stayed in on Pleasant Bay. Very pleasant. We came across a little thatched cabin, a recreation. And we also noticed and got photographic evidence of the fact that people don't like to chain their dogs up. They like to let them run amok in the street. Eventually we came to this place. It was a Scottish and Irish authentic memorabilia shop. And don't forget, if it's not Scottish, it's crap. Try to get some scenery just driving along here. Here's some beautiful Cape Breton rocky coastline that we have been hoping to see. Dad and I playing on the rocks. This was a pretty fancy little restaurant that we had lunch in on the coast. And then after that, we were driving and we came across the big ski area of Cape Breton, which you could still go up in the summertime. We were very hard pressed to get some videos of the coastline through the car window. Turned out to be a little harder than we thought. Also, a plethora of beautiful rivers. This one looked like soda to us, and here I am twiddling on my new penny whistle that Dad suggested I buy. I've already mastered this instrument, as you can tell. And then we came across a piper at a Gaelic college. He had been to Baltimore, I believe. Now, this was all on our way to the Alexander Graham Bell Museum. It was a really neat place, and it gave you a lot of really interesting information that you would have never thought about with Alexander Graham Bell. And here's a view from the outside. That's Braddock, or Braddock, or however the hell they said it. You could see it in the distance there. We were very taken with the Yellow Cello Cafe. Dad even got a t-shirt. There was a very talented gentleman singing inside, took requests. Played a little Cat Stevens for Dad, I believe. Cape Breton sunsets. The next day, our last day, was spent in Halifax. It was a Canadian holiday, so there was a big festival going down on the harbor. And here I just try to get some shots of the skyline as we were driving away. And nowhere in Canada is complete without a Tim Hortons, even right downtown. So that's it for our photo show, which is impossible to be comprehensive of such a gorgeous trip. Good day, eh?